Well, hello everyone and welcome to yet another live stream. Hi there. Hi Barnett. Hi, welcome and hi and welcome. I'll have Barnett. When did... Oh, shut up! Sorry, my technology is yelling at me. I had to. It doesn't matter. So. Let me just... There we go. I'm feeling a bit peckish, but I was actually smart this time and I've made my coffee and veggies before the live stream. Oh fuck, they're hot. Yeah, makes sense. Okay, so, hi everyone. Hi, hello and welcome. And today, unfortunately, we'll do something quite boring. We'll just be working on the video. That's it. That's all there's gonna be to it. That's because it's been a long time since I uploaded something and it's about time. It's gosh dang about time. Make it, would there be rewards for the rank chat? I don't know, ask YouTube. They didn't say. By the way, you asked, when did YouTube make the chat ranked? Yesterday. They did it yesterday. Yesterday on stream, we just noticed that the chat is ranked, apparently. Which is, it's also really silly because it resets every single live stream. It's ridiculous. I really wish they did it more like Twitch. I did like it on Twitch. It was really fun, the points. Anyway. Such a stupid thing. Why do you hate it so much? Stupid, that's a bit mean. No, done. I take it back. My veggies aren't done. They're still a bit cold, and that's dangerous to eat, so I'm gonna cook them up more. Alright, that's gonna be cooked in the background. Anyway, the XP thingy sucks again. Does it? Playing Star Technology Minecraft modpack game on dopamine. Oh, that sounds good. That sounds delicious. I myself am running on nothing yet, because I just woke up. Oh, all matter made not make it. Oh, look at it. Oh my god. Look at it. Oh, I need to add it as a sticker. Hold on, I need to add it as another sticker. Do we even have enough space for another? I may need to. I think there is one sticker that isn't made by All Matter, and I'll just need to remove it. The master. Isn't it fun? I mean, come on. Flame right now is literally, legally a master of chemistry. I find that incredible. Hi there, Atomic. Hi. What doing? Technically, I should be working on the video, but I always get distracted. I always do. Right now I'm adding a sticker of All Matter's art. Yeah, okay, I'm removing the math sticker. It was the oldest sticker, but at the same time, I prefer the... Okay, sticker name is gonna be... There we go. Flame finished PhD. No. The thing before the PhD. That's the master's degree. Flame right now is doing the PhD. It will soon be Dr. Flame, indeed. But for now, it's literally Master of Chemistry. I mean, I find that incredible. I just find that incredible. A master. It puts Minecraft half the screen and you're live on the other. Genius. Okay. I think we're ready now. I think we did all the distracting, all the code, all the distracting we have for any live stream. The fuck is Master below Doctor? Don't ask me. I don't know. Okay. No, cool. What should I do? The dragon the whole time. There's doctors. I just love the fact that from now on I can refer to Flame as Master Flame. Master Flame. Master Flame, the council does not approve of this action. Oh right, what was I doing by the way? Oh yeah, networking, that was the last one. Then we also need to, the box and the mask, we need to completely script that. Then the sulfuric acid, I will need to also script that. That's mostly based on the recordings. Oh, the mask also printed, by the way. Because last stream, I don't know if you remember, I kind of ended the stream by starting the print on the mask and it printed. I haven't assembled it yet, so I don't know, maybe later on the stream we'll see how it goes. But for now, logging. Doesn't take one. In that case, we'd like to get some information. Okay, so. Master Flame. Hold on. Master Flame. The underlings. They plan a mutiny. Master Flame. Master Flame. So dumb. Master Flame. I imagine it like a wizard council. That's what I imagine when I hear Master Flame. I imagine like a wizard council. And Flame is just sitting there with a glowing beard. I've been completely honest, I have been waiting for Flame to actually get his master such a long time, and I've been threatening him, telling him that I'm gonna be referring to him as Master Flame. So I'm so glad to finally be here. Shucks, it's gonna be program debug or program loads, whatever, doesn't matter. We definitely would attend the epic spare wars of the battle wizards. I know I just got the part to attempt a Linux install for the second time. Dear God, what Linux distro are you installing? Is it Arch? Because a second, usually with any other distribution you can like salvage it. With Arch you can't really. Mint. Oh, close enough. Yeah. That makes sense. That does make sense. Good luck then, Atomic. Remember to install all the networking tools, because if you don't, then that makes the entire process way more difficult. Master Flame's like an edgy British character. It does have a. In fact, does that even mean? The my comment or Bionerd's comment? Master Flame really has that. Has that like the might of the arcade in it. I do have, in my opinion. Networking tools. Oh yeah, like, you know, access to the internet is what I mean. Because by default, I don't know if Mint has that actually. I don't know much about Mint, just in case I wanted to mention it. Because basically if you finish the installation, but then if you don't install the networking tools, like the tools to access the internet, then once the installation is finished, in order to install them, you need access to the internet. But in order to have the access to the internet, you need to install these tools. And that causes a huge headache, and usually at this point you just reinstall. There was like a package for it. I don't remember what it was though. I need to check. If I get into Linux, I would go for Mint and then go from there. For Linux, I'm running an uprising. I'm not gonna be able to get over Master Flame. Here we go. Good luck, Atomic. Good luck. I believe in you. You can beat that cranky piece of software. Okay. Let me get some information. So what I would like here is probably delete this, restart this, pop it in the middle, so bounding box, like so, and then bounding box, transform geometry, and then we move it, vector math. One of these is like one corner of our square, the other one is the other, which means what we do is we do this plus this divided by 2 because the order shouldn't matter. Let's see it. No. Add it. Doesn't work. I always forget. Okay, now I think my veggies are done. I'm gonna turn it off. Right, so we have the vector of the first one, vector of the second one should be the opposite corner. If we add them together, we should get the exact middle. Right, and then what we want to do is divide by -2. Haha! Eureka! I've done it! I've made a square, and now we can just do this, and there we go. Our entire machinery is perfectly centered. How lovely. Now we can pop it like this. Clear all the keyframes. Including the folder, that'll be loads. Simple. Eureka! Shut up! Stop pinging at me! Man, now I don't have a cat, I need to get back to screaming at technology. It's still better than yelling at a cloud, but I mean, you know, we take what we can get. Right. Now it can spin. How we gonna do this? How are we gonna attempt this? We're gonna try it. How are we going to? That's because one and then this will switch between those, right? This allows us to cycle through them, right? So what we would like to do, I imagine, is this rotated by 90, because I like this kind of orientation. Then clear all the keyframes. Actually, clear all the keyframes from everything. That doesn't really feel like clearing all the keyframes, because oh my goodness, it's always something with you, isn't it? Where are you? Where is it? Where is the movement? Why are you moving downwards? This must be. There we go. Perfect. 0 to the hundreds, I would say, or 130 even. Make it. We need question of the day on the Discord server. Like, what do you mean by question of the day? What kind? Give me an example. quote of the day. Oh wait, quote of the day, not question. No, it is no. David did mention question of the day. Because quote of the day, that's just the best comments channel. Let's be real here. I'm not gay nor in denial. It's pretty solid by Timon. Especially didn't be there. Like, we get a guy who gets a question like, what's your favorite color? I like the two spellings. And what, you'd really like that? So as in server-wide icebreaker, is that the thing? Like a new channel. Okay, but like, no, I mean purpose-wise. Would it be like, is it supposed to function like a server-wide icebreaker or something? This teal, because teal is a nice color. Yeah, a proper teal. We can even hide it this way. Oh my goodness, why is this all such a mess? Right here, we add that. So this. No, wait. I think that's not bad. We're 19, and then one of these should be changing it. No, wait. This is my old setup. How am I struggling with this so much? The float, and the float is switching between. Let's be minus, by the way. I am fine, I can figure this out. Someone's gonna run a channel and they get a response. Funsies, it seems cool. You need to, if you wanna sell me on something, you need to do a bit, put more effort into it, you know? If you want me to create a whole new channel, that takes a price, you know? Most other people have sacrificed their souls for this kind of request. You need to be sure. Because payment in souls is pretty standard in the business. So if I were you, I would really make sure. Negative 33. Negative 34. And then goes back to negative 6. Oh, what is this mess? It was working so beautifully before. It doesn't really make much sense for it to increase, well, unless between 0 and 1 right here. But this should be between 0 and 1. Let me just... Oh, that affects the fact. No, that is correct, yeah. Because 19 should be the maximum. Unless this should be negative 19. Oh my goodness. I fixed it. I just got the minus sign the wrong way. Right. Thick velvet coffee. Oh. Oof. That sounds delicious. I don't know what velvety means in that case, but... What do you want? A 74-page paper that describes the content pros of this. Yeah, that's what I am expecting. And what do you want from me? You want me to just make a channel? Come on. As I mentioned, it takes a toll. A sacrifice is required. Okay, and then what we want is we want for certain gears, we'd like them to. Matthew is crafting a palette. Gee whiz, that is way too posh for me. Well, have a good. I don't know what was the saying is for people who are going to make coffee. Bon appetit, I suppose. I don't know. Okay. In each one of these, what I would like to do is I would like to pick specific gears where we just check. Actually, this shouldn't be that difficult because we do get an integer. So then what we can do is we can do a repeat zone, and then we can just plug in the integer into the repeat zone, and we can just go like cycle through all of the integers. No, wait, we can just cycle through like a list of integers that we want to pick. So index switch like this integer, and then we have a boolean that will tell us if it's equal or not. So compare boolean math, that should be an O. Bless me. Okay, and then we just compare these two together. I just realized this doesn't really need an input. This can just go in like this. Yeah, like this. Bless me again. Oh, okay. My right. I've really been sneezing a lot lately. That has nothing to do with the asset. And then we can make them yellow once they're passed. But we can pick if we pick the top root or the bottom root depending on this boolean, like so. And now basically and whoops, shucks, damn it. Right. No, that's wrong. That is wrong. Okay, why is that wrong? Let's think. That's greater than. I'm an idiot. Right, this shouldn't be greater than. This should be equal. Okay, better. No, wait, this makes sense. That's because we only have 3 of them. Right, perfect. And so then we can just plug in one more integer, stack it up to 5, and then we can select a bunch of gears. We'll select the big ones as the gears that we want to log. Yeah, because that would be the basic idea, right? If something 10, so it's 11, and this one 18. Perfect. And now once we run it, it's gonna cycle through all of them, but the big gears will turn to yellow instead of just disappearing. So perfect. I feel like that's a good visualization of what I mean. Beautiful. Absolutely, absolutely beautiful. And then we just want there to be text whenever each one of them turns to yellow. A text that effectively just says log, and then we need something in the whatever it will be. I feel like this video will be about engineering. This segment actually is about computer science, funny enough. But yeah, engineering will also sneak its way in this segment, which ideally we like to also finish today, because jeez, I am behind everything I do. I am behind on absolutely everything I do. It's actually running and then it's like that gives us nice information. We like to save all the major things happening in a file. Trivial. What we're doing the most basics here. Okay, so first stick this, then let's rotate it like I think 4 times, I don't know, just 6 like this. Yeah, that's not terrible. Not terrible, could have been worse. I'll take it. And then one last thing, which is, can I actually add it in as a using my magic fun scripts? No, I can't. But I could if I added a new blend file. Tell me in my head, Theo, I had to try every single other combination of these words before I got to the right one. Okay, up here, perfect. That's the one. Don't save. We don't need to. Don't save. That's it. Paste it in, perfection. Then right here, we're gonna switch it to a yellow. 6, perfect. And we're gonna pop all of them into their own spots. Yeah. And then what do we want them to say? Something like log init, whatever. Good enough. Log init, log run, log whatever. We'll figure something out. Log init, log run, log. It is a different shade of yellow, which I guess I should change before moving forward. I do really like it to be perfect. It's a simple fix, just need to go in here and just copy this. Hi Daniel, hi. Wait, is this the episode 2 of the video or Make a Robot? This one, no. This one is the first episode of a new series in which I just make a bunch of things. And that is it. That's gonna be the entire series. I'll just be making things. This color still looks different from the other one, even though they are the same color. You know what? I'm not even gonna bother. I'm just gonna... It's fine. Okay, once it starts turning... 0, what's that? Yellow. Let's look. Perfect. Would say perfect. Need to move all of them ever so slightly up. Perfection. All kinds of things. Well, in this episode, for example, I'll be making like a cat distractor thingy. Rest in peace. I will be making like a setup for like a programming setup. I will be making a box. That's it. I'll be making a make it mask with hopefully working Raspberry Pi Zero handled camera. I will be making sulfuric acid. That's what I'll be making in this video. And each one will be just like a bit of a jack of all trades. I'm just trying to have fun. There. Perfect. And see, that's why it's convenient to set up everything in advance, because then you can just very easily create very cool looking animations. All you need is a proper setup. That's it. Discovering your neurons. No. Make it. Why is your channel called Make It? Because I make it. That's why. I take things. I take its and I make them. So it's literally all kinds of things. Yeah, that's actually the point. I want to get good at everything. A little bit of everything all of the time. I'm finished playing and I'm staying inside. You know what I mean. Golden start when you get that reference. In the end, I just... You know that archetype in movies of like when the main character needs some kind of device, and so they're like, oh, I know a guy, and then go to the guy, and that guy does like everything from chemistry through engineering, programming, all of these things. I want to be that, but you know that takes effort. That's why there's a need for this series. Make it. Will you do a face reveal? Guess. Above is a tragedy and boredom is a crime. There we go. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you. Golden star to you. I'm pretty certain I kept... Didn't I keep track of golden stars somewhere? I think I... Polymath. I do have to say, Theo, polymath is a garbage word. I mean, I do appreciate sentiment, but polymath is an absolutely garbage word because it's meant to... I think because polymath is basically meant to just say generalist, right? But it has the word math in it, and that always gets everyone confused. Unless you specifically know what a polymath means, you just think it's a kind of mathematician. That's a quick rant. I'm just trying to open a spreadsheet and it's really not working. Spreadsheets. Why aren't you working? Oh, because it's a plural. It's a plural in the link, that's why. There we go. See, I told you I kept track of golden stars. Oh, Randy, give me a second, I'll rant again. Oh, I can rant again, don't worry, I'm always up for ranting. Polymath is a really bad word in my opinion, because unless you specifically know what it means, then you just think it's a mathematician. It's a kind of mathematician, right? Some kind of geometric dealing with, or whatever, dealing with polygons, doesn't matter. I think that's why I think it's a really bad word. I think good words, proper good words, are the kinds of words where someone doesn't know the meaning of them can still figure out what the meaning is. That's what makes a good word. And a polymath just ain't it, because polymath sounds like a kind of mathematician. So I do really appreciate the sentiment, but the word itself sucks. That's why I prefer generalist. That's because generalist is a very descriptive kind of word. Opposite to a specialist. So you have specialists who know what they're doing and generalists who don't. Also, I'm pretty certain it's an insult that Fabius Bile throws around, but what would I know? Fabulous Bile. Open a file using a function that's called fopen, which stands for file open. And what the mention is that the DAO is repeating, that's gross. An important thing to mention, however, is that in order to work with files, you first need to open a file, then you can write, read, whatever, and then you need to close it. And this part at the end is really important. It's a recurring theme since you handle free money and you're back in network. Okay, so it will be a pretty short segment. Make it knows every piece of information except for those he does not know. That is true, yeah. I'm always correct, unless I'm not. Math comes from to learn, learning in Greek. Philomath is learning, loving individual. I mean, I imagine, okay, it makes sense, but still. Still, my point stands. If you say the word polymath to a random individual who doesn't know what it means, they will just guess that it's a kind of mathematician. Unless they know ancient Greek, which honestly I'd be impressed with. I feel like if you know ancient Greek, the usual rules of of the society don't apply to you. I keep sipping my vitamin mix instead of coffee, and that's why I'm so boring. I'm sorry, everyone. I need to spice it up a bit. I'm gonna take a sip now. There we go. That's hitting those neurons good. Okay, so another thing we're gonna do on this stream, for which I'm gonna start up SolidWorks right away, is we're gonna edit the skeleton a bit. We're not gonna print it yet, we're just gonna edit it because we don't know how well the actual skeleton of the mask that I printed holds, because I haven't tested it, because I woke up today and I started the stream right away. But basically we would like to amend the skeleton a bit. That's because so far we do have the space for the Raspberry Pi Zero, but we don't just want the space for the Raspberry Pi Zero, we also want a camera. And ideally, technically, we'd also like, I don't know, power or whatever to power the whole thing up. But, you know, you can't have everything in life happens. Oh yeah, didn't I print it without any holes? Oh, I'll need to drill the holes. Raspberry Pi Zero made me want some raspberries. Be right back. You can just say be right back and go get some raspberries. Lucky. Raspberry privilege. Okay. Question to everyone watching right now. What is the best fruit that ends with a berry? If you had to pick one. Let's say you can only pick from fruits that end in a berry. What is it that you pick? I personally am torn, but I do have two picks. Basic. Strawberry, raspberry. Those are your picks. I understand the strawberry. I can sympathize. Strawberry, yeah. That's what I was gonna say. I understand strawberry. I can sympathize. Strawberries are powerful. They're great, and I love them. Raspberries aren't bad, but there's something off about their taste. There's something not right. Something underneath the surface. It feels like strawberries. Honestly, it feels like raspberries were created when a great evil was defeated, and then, as the entire world of existence just took a massive breath of relief, then raspberries were created. But the underlying undertones of the evil still linger, and it does. Something is off. Also bananas, there are more berries than strawberries. Yeah, but that's why I mentioned, that's why I specifically said, alright, that I didn't say, what's your favorite berry? I specifically said, what is your favorite fruit that ends in a berry? That's why I specifically specified that for that very reason. I agree with strawberry. Yeah, strawberries are good. Also, strawberries are a horror show. We don't often appreciate just how much of a horror show they actually are. Strawberry. Those are seeds. Like, those are seeds. Strawberries are an absolute horror show if you don't know them. That looks like some... Okay, to be fair, most fruits look like something out of just alien fauna. But strawberries are definitely in the top 10 in that regard. Seeds on the outside. Ridiculous. Ridiculous is what it is. That's why they aren't berries, seeds on the outside. That makes sense. Do you think that you know what I want? You know what I want from all the bioengineering people, to all the people who do like genetic modification. I want them to make a strawberry that's smooth. That's what I want. I want a smooth strawberry. Is that a thing? Hold on, I'm looking it up. Smooth strawberry without seeds. Is that a thing? Not seedless strawberry, because there's still a horror show. I mean, like a smooth one. No. Can you imagine though? Alien egg. It really would look a bit like it. She told me they give a crunch, they give texture. Oof. Strawberries. Do you remember the village where we had a whole summer fest around them? Elderberry. Wait, which one's elderberry? I remember the word. I don't remember what it matches to though. Oh, that's elder. Oh, I really dislike elderberries. I really dislike them. I don't know why, but through my entire life, they just don't sit right with me. They taste odd. They taste like if they're halfway through making into an alcohol. That's what they taste like. They taste like they've been just sitting a bit too long. Even when they're fresh. Elderberry sounds so wise. I don't know why, can't tell you that much either, but like, the name elderberries just fits for them. I remember their taste, and it fits. It makes sense. They would give the other berries advice. Yeah, they're the elderberries. Seedless strawberry. No, but crucially, I don't just want the seedless one, I want a smooth one. I want a smooth strawberry. I imagine a smooth strawberry would be the food of the future, you know? Like, we went from wild strawberries to domesticated strawberries, and that's like industrial revolution. But then the futuristic one, we wouldn't stop here, we would go for the smooth strawberry. Like, imagine this, except perfectly smooth. It would be so weird. I love that. I would love eating that. You say domesticate like it's an animal. Does it still not fit? Define domesticated. Acclimate to a new environment of plants or animals. So that is just for animals then, isn't it? Made fit for domestic life. Is it just for animals? No, adapted over time by selective breeding from a wild natural state life because humans, yeah. So domesticated is correct. We just double check. Domesticated corn, there we go. It's always good to double check, like to find the exact quote that matches your usage, because otherwise it's really easy to buy itself. Something crossbreed on the surface. Oh, I mean, you can already do that. You can already make seedless things. Like, seedless fruit is a thing. The bigger issue is that, well, you can make seeds that grow into plants that don't make any seeds. That's already a thing. So I don't see a reason why we wouldn't be able to do that with strawberries. I want my smooth strawberry. See, there's no result, that's the problem. Yeah, but that's why you just need to constantly keep making them. You know, Strawberries aren't half bad though. That's because the underlying plant will still be there for a longer time. Which means that you don't need to keep remaking them quite as often. Straws are smooth, maybe eat those. We have straws, we have berries. If only we could make something. We have smooth straws and we have smooth berries. Now all we're missing is a smooth strawberry. Has science gone too far? A smooth strawberry. Am I weird for this, by the way, or is it like? Am I the weird one in this case? Because when I look at this, making it smooth and seedless, for some reason just like feels better. It feels more right. It feels tastier. A little, okay. I'll take a little. I take a little. I love the seeds, but I can see your vision. I don't hate the seeds. I don't mind the seeds. I just feel like it would be really futuristic. And I am a technophile. So I feel like it would be really futuristic if it was just smooth. It kind of like, oh my goodness, I think it was slime rancher food. I think that's what it was. What was it? Cube berry? Mint mango. Like, no, cube berry still has, okay. Still has seeds. Scientists have failed us. We don't have smooth berries. I would eat a slime from Slime Rancher, maybe those honey slimes. I can't blame you, the honey slimes do look delicious. I would eat them too. I would like to see a smooth strawberry, just don't take the normal ones away. No more normal strawberries. From now on, all the strawberries are smooth and seedless. It will be illegal to eat normal strawberries. Hold on, let me. I'm talking about goddamn strawberries. I do need more coffee. This is ridiculous. Okay. Okay, you're right. I first need to open file using function. Actually, there are two different bits in the same row, and that will make the delivery actually weaker on both of them, so I need to delete the second one. And then there's the another work file. Then you can write, read, whatever. And then you do need to close it. You do need to close it. And this part is actually important. It's recurring team, you see, and see, we handle everything manually. So it's important, it's quite. So it is important, but it's quite boring. So I'm just gonna leave it for. Also. So quite boring. Come up again. Anyway, back in networking. Perfect. Smooth berries. Smooth berries. I would eat them. Sometimes I have the craving for blueberry, but I'm reminded that I have to donate a liver to avoid 100 grams plastic dish, which was 2 hours of the surface of this planet. They are really expensive. All the berries are really expensive in general. Or like fruit. Except for apples. Apples are the only exception. And I don't understand it. Like, cherries are really expensive. Berries are really expensive. Everything's really expensive. One of the biggest exporters of apples. Oh yeah, that would explain it then. Okay, well. Alright, that makes sense. But why only grow apples? Most fruits are affordable. I mean, yeah, it depends on your definition of affordable, you know? Like, because I just mostly look at them. That's what I do. I really like looking at fruits. That's kind of where my interaction with fruits end, because I am they tend to be pricey. The entire fruit aisle in all the shops is just forbidden to me. I stopped going there. It's ridiculous. Like, it's really healthy and I would love to eat them, but they're so expensive. That's why I stick to frozen veggies, because they're great. They're delicious, nutritious, cheap. I am always gonna shill for frozen veggies because I think they're amazing. Going window shopping in the fruit section like a peasant. Yeah, I mean, it's nice. It makes me feel like I am. It makes me feel like I'm middle class when I go there. If you live in the right place, you can pick them and sell them for a good price. I don't live in the right place. I very famously don't live in the right place. Vegetables are a wacky thing, aren't they? Like, if you consider how long it takes, that's still something that I cannot wrap my head around. I understand that it's like economies of scale and such, but if you think of how much effort it takes to grow a single carrot versus how little nutrition it provides, it is wacky that we managed to stay alive. It is genuinely wacky. Don't even get me started on the meat. The meat is just bonkers. I cannot wrap my head around the vegetables. The meat is way beyond that. Ah yes, watching paint dry livestream where I just set up a render and just wait for it to finish. Damn it, stop coughing. They just need water and the rain's free water. Yeah, but I mean, look how long it takes. Also, they don't just need that. Like rain light, sure, but fertilizer, that's kind of a biggie. Doesn't anybody know what the crowns rank? The crowns just rank like talking in chat. That's it. The more you talk, the more experience you gain. The more experience you gain, the higher rank. And top 3 people get a crown. Or any given live stream. Fertilizer is optional if you do rotational agriculture. What is rotational agriculture? The problem is that I don't know much about biology. I know about chemistry. That's why I can understand why fertilizer is required. Oh, it is exactly what it sounds like. See, now that's a good phrase. I didn't know what crop rotation was, but if I had to guess, that's what I would get. That's a proper word. That's a proper one. I like it. Well, it's 2 words. That's probably why, but that doesn't matter. Monocropping as well. Yeah. I guess that could make sense. If Because I suppose the plants don't need everything from the soil, do they? They can like get it from the air as well. I mean, air has carbon, oxygen, nitrogen, hydrogen. What else do you need in organic chemistry? Phosphorus? Well, maybe. But who cares about phosphorus? Phosphorus isn't important. 7 frames away. Jeez, that's festive. I'm so glad I just started with an animation that's this long. Okay. Just double check what's the next thing. Happening into a file. Logic there is trivial, we're really doing the most basics here. But in order to write something into a file, we first need to open a file using a function. That's called fopen. I reset my PC for updates. No, Windows. No, something different. My SolidWorks is begging me for updates every single time I turn it on, and I just don't answer because it's real pain to update it. I could live inside your pockets. I wish. I wish. Oh my goodness, Pocket Theo. How better life would be. Life could be a dream. If only Pocket Theo was real, so many of Ward's problems just wouldn't be. Ah, what a shame. Does it fit? Nitrogen is a difficult one to get from the air. If I remember correctly, you need thunder or bacteria. You need bacteria. Because getting it by thunder is really wacky. It's not... I mean, if I remember correctly, and I'm pretty certain I do, because nitrogen is one of the latest rows, doesn't nitrogen bind into the triple bond? Yeah! Look at that. N2 bond. Let's test Makeit's chemistry knowledge, if Makeit can guess a bond just by looking at it. Well, oh wait, that doesn't really matter because of the conjugate, right? I mean, not the conjugate, on the anti-bonding. What's the bond in nitrogen? There we go, triple. Yes, that makes sense. Wouldn't be the easiest to break down, I imagine. That's why the fertilizer is a thing, because, well, over there you just have really easy to get nitrogen. But it does make sense that if you do crop rotation, I suppose, then nature will take care of its thing. Nature will do its thing. Pocket me with emotionally supporting you those moments and bite you in the dick at the best moments. I like it. You want to average... yeah, that's good. You don't want to go overboard in any way. I respect that. Okay, perfection. We're gonna move this to the right, and then on the right, we'd like to create a nice looking file. And we can do so using the wireframe, I think, modifier. The thickness is a bit weird on it. You're right. Peas are great nitrogen absorbers into the soil. Peas? It's quite odd. I was really expecting something more wacky, some kind of plant with a big leaf. Peas? What type of peas? Why can peas do that? I am all of a sudden very skeptical of peas. Okay, perfection, but we do need to get rid of those. I mean, Why are you also deleting the outer? No, you're not deleting the outer vertices. Ah, fudge. Do I need to do it like this? Almost. How am I supposed to do it? Really? That's ridiculous. Okay, maybe wireframe isn't the right one. Faces. Right. Suspicious. That's really good. I like that a lot. I love what like there are people with that thing. He just said a word for me. For some reason, this vexes me. Communication. We had square melons, but what about cuboid peas? Perfectly stackable peas. I really do think that we, considering how right now we can do bioengineering and such, I really genuinely believe that we should start making vegetables wacky. We should make them wacky. We have the tools required. Imagine square melons, alright? What else? Perfectly round cucumbers. They're just a perfect sphere. A cucumber that's a perfect sphere. Okay? I don't know. Sierpinski's triangle mango. Smooth strawberry. Raspberry, except instead in a clump, they're just in a line. You know, like a raspberry or just like a raspberry, except all of the little spheres are in a line like this. We need to make more wacky fruits and veggies. Conical onion, exactly, yeah. Ain't gonna work. Faces into thickened edges. Faces, so only faces. Delete only faces. Okay, so it does do only faces, alright. Means that if we were to hypothetically raspberry, but one big bubble instead of 50. There we go. A gasp berry. That's what we need. Smooth strawberries, gasp berries, conions. Toroid banana. That's my campaign promise. Make it. It's time to make all the fruits wacky shaped. Vote for me. Vote for me and I will make sure that all the fruits are shaped wacky. Can I do only... no. Right, I can't. Vertices and then like this. And this. And then like this. And then I hopefully just select all of these vertices in the middle and delete them. Delete faces. Well, that's almost what I wanted. I'm supposed to fix them. New EU party, let's go. Agricultural revolution, here we come. The EU party of wacky fruits. We need to make a movement. What do we stand for? Wacky fruits and veggies. How am I supposed to fix this though? That's garbage. Whatever. I'm close enough. It's close enough. The entire geometry is a massive mess, but I mean, whatever. It's close enough. Five, that's correct. Then we do it like this, and then we right, how do we position all of them on the same line a smart way? I don't know if there is a smart. I'm just gonna do it. X, that's gonna be, let's do it 9 9 9 9 and a 9. Now let's start at 0. Then you minus 0.2. Perfect, so minus 0.4. 0.6. Minus 0.8, I believe. And now we can click on all of them, move them, scale them up, and have them be in the file. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Like those are the real world problems. I think the issue that we have nowadays is that people try to focus on the symptoms rather than the underlying disease when it comes to world problems, you know? And I'm glad that we can take our time here and focus on the actual underlying problem, which is the lack of wacky fruits and veggies. I do believe that if you carefully examine the issues of the 21st century, then you will realize that's actually where they lie. That's actually what's happening. That's where they all stem from. Welcome, Timon. Okay, so, but now this is open the file using a function. I'm just gonna have the F open up here and this is gonna briefly flash to blue. Party. Oh, new ping in child checkups. What is it? Oh, it's someone asking about the oldest sticker. Can we take a second to appreciate all matter again, by the way? Me when I dissolve a cat in acid. Manic love. Okay. Alright. How much would it cost to make real life stickers actually? I need to partner with Allmatter to make real life stickers. We're such a mundane fruit world. There is a need for more whimsy in it. We should stop and start the fruit growth. You know what's crazy though? If I may get a tad bit serious for a second, what's crazy to me is that, like, bioengineering is not science fiction. We can just do it. And I find it wild, okay? Like, if you think about it, trees, for example, are an engineering marvel, right? They're madness. Almost all of life, effectively, is just nanotechnology, done right. And the fact that we can just, like, manipulate trees is wild. We can make glowing trees. And everyone knows about that, and we're just okay with it, like, yeah, whatever. That's wild. I think make it smoke too much good stuff. I always smoke too much good stuff. I really want to remake the bit where I smoke a blunt in my apartment, and every single time I remake that bit, I need to make a bigger and bigger fire for it.
Hello.
Hi. We should make oranges be react. My OBS disconnected because of the glorange. Glorange should be the name. Glorange should be a name for the UV emission spectrum. Like when you have a fluorescent material that can emit a range of different frequencies, then that should be called the glorange. It should be the same as the fruit, obviously, because we obviously also need the fruit. I just realized I'm a blend artist. I can make these fruit. Hold on. We're going on a tangent. I'm making wacky fruits. Sometimes I forget that I also have free will and I can just make that. Okay. Let me just. Oh, where am I supposed to even? Yeah, that's gonna be a shitpost video. Of course, it's gonna be wacky fruits. The untitled, whatever. Who cares?
You just casually forget that you have free will.
Yeah, I can just make whatever I want. Where's the? I did have like a fruit basket. The one? There we go. That's what we're gonna use for our basis of. We're gonna need to straighten a banana, but I mean that's manage. Oh, it's really not liking this, is it? Compute. Oh, you're really not liking this. There are hidden apples. Why is there rice? You know what? This isn't made by me. I just downloaded it off the internet. There we go. Loading. This may take a few minutes the first time. Why is it?
Hey, you took my place! How dare you!
Fruity fruits. How many viruses have the gene and do something within the gene produce chemicals that glow and they put viruses into animals? Is that really how it's done? I don't know much about biology. Hold on, because I need to take care of my blender. There we go. Let's try the exact same thing again, because it worked out so splendidly last time. Okay, we're gonna take... This was a really nice looking scene, I remember. But we might need to make our own. Reloading. Okay, there we go. The fruits are invisible, renderless. Not buy enough for the ology, SMH. Yeah. I'm just used to acing everything. One frame. That's just cat shaped. Not the cat again. It's really just struggling. Why does it take such a long time to load and render? No, it can't be because of subdivision. special about it, though? It takes such a long time. I'm so confused. Materials? May take up to a few minutes the first time. Why? The animation finished rendering before this even opened. Oh, I'm glad we're taking a break from the waiting simulator to do more waiting simulator. No, shut up. Hold on, I think instead of turning off my alarm, I just snoozed it. There we go. I'm playing 5D chess while watching this. Good contrast. Splendid. But then write something into a 5. Oh yeah, right, the function. So open, that's what we need. We need open to appear. Open, which is going to be blue, because that's the color of functions, everyone knows that. 0.5, perfect. And then like this. Like this. No wait, like there we have it. Absolute perfection. And blue. Render animation. Did it load? Oh, it did! There we go. Okay, it's time. It's time to make them all more correct. So, first, we're gonna start simple. With a banana. We're gonna also get rid of the volume for now. We're gonna start simple actually. We're gonna rescale all of them. There we go. Let's start simple with the banana. That's actually gonna be one of the more difficult ones to do, but I'm willing to give it a shot. So basically, first what we need to do is straighten it out, obviously. This is ridiculous. Such a curved banana. Who wants a curved banana? That's ridiculous. It ain't an exact science, you know, we're just gonna roughly straighten it out. Nothing too crazy.
Don't worry, X Gaming, that's usually the level of jokes that make it mix as well.
There we go. That looks so wrong. Straight banana is making me very uncomfortable. Now let's drop in a circle. And let's give it a modifier. That will be the deform curve modifier on the circle. And then we just need to make it... Oh, whack. Hold on. No, the circle might not work for it. It was Neb's circle, I think. Will it cause any difference? Okay. So it really wants to go through the middle for some reason. It really, really wants to go through the middle. Fine, we won't do it with a circle at all. We'll do it with a path that I'm gonna curve into a circle. See if I care. It's gonna make it like a very round.
Do you want a round banana or a straight banana?
A round banana. There we go.
Then why don't you just curve it more than instead of straightening it and then curving it?
Because if I curve it more, then I won't be able to apply the curve modifier properly. Oh, that is really not liking it. That is so wrong and incorrect. Why is it going to the middle? Torana, there we go. Cromulent, to be perfectly cromulent word.
What did I do? I'm not the one doing the straight bananas.
Okay. Alright, so that's the problem. It's on the end, which means we bring it back.
Klein bottle banana.
Like this. There we go, there we go, there we go. Question: if I bring it before, will it? Okay, that's good because I have another idea. So this will be our banana V1, but then I'm gonna do a V2. That's because for the V2, I'm just gonna apply the modifier, and I'm just gonna delete the end, both sides. Going to more Gaussian curvature on this banana. Alright, hold on. There we go. A circle banana. A Taurus, Torano. A Taurus. There we go. That's the first one. That's our first fruit to put into our wacky fruit basket. Right. Wait, hold on. I should also have a basket model somewhere. Basket, bear, bell, bike, bed, boat, bottles, box, building. Not a basket. I have a male head. But I need to pay for that, to be fair, so I'm not gonna do it. God, chest. I have a chest. We could. I do have a chest. I can.
That's close enough.
It's gonna be like a treasure trove of wacky. There we go. Oh, but why all the materials are messed up? Damn you! Now I need to remake them. Set this displacement height and that. Then I'm not gonna do normals because that's ridiculous. Reflection though. That's good enough, okay. And then you blin height. Reflection would be there. And then the muff. This displacement. There, we're gonna have a very small chest. No, it's just a very big banana, obviously. We all know that the Toranas are comically large, comically oversized. Did you see my blender all of a sudden just almost crash? It's because of the round banana.
Wait, maybe I'm high, but isn't Torana a fish?
I don't know. Anyway, right here we have this then, in which case we obviously need to amp the emission. And then This would need to go like...
No, it's an Indian gateway.
Suck. 9? No, not 1 9, 1 12s. There, but then in order to make this a proper orange, we need to like... Piranha. Please make a Mandelbrot or Mobius strip apple. Mobius... What would a Mobius strip apple even look like? I was kind of imagining a Sierpinski's triangle apple though. I think I could pull that off. Now, right here, in order to make this real proper, we need to go into settings, displacement and bump, and then do displacement. And plug this into scale. Okay. No, wait, no, displacement. What vector? No, just displacement. There we go. Displacement. Wacky. And then this into scale. Up the level. There we go. A glorange.
Perfection.
And what's more is we can adjust the glow. So obviously, as we all know, gloranges start their life dark, and then as they mature, they get brighter and brighter. So that's like a full-blown glorange. We all know how gloranges function. Obviously, all of these fruits are just really large.
Whoa.
Okay, what else do we have? Apple. I really do like the idea of a Sierpinski's triangle apple, because it's gonna be... I did make a pixelated apple back in the day, but this time we're gonna try Sierpinski. Just see how it goes. So first what we'll need is the mathematical... When you have the four-sided shape, I don't remember the name of it. Oh, there we go. Okay. The important thing to mention is that notebook files you need to first open the file, then you can write, read, whatever, and then you can... So we need to move more to the right and then do it like in order. So first open the file, then read, write, whatever, and then you need to close it. Yes, so we're gonna do... Going to move to the right here. Like this, and then we're gonna have fopen like this. Oh yeah, no, because we need to... Damn it. Animation, location, insert. Then move more to the left. To the right. 3. And then there we... Well, we could move a bit more right. There we have it. Perfection. Don't forget the cube piece. The cube piece will be coming as well. Fibro, leave the fibro intake. So for the apple, first what we need is we have just stored objects. Oh, that makes sense. Okay, don't want it though. What I'm looking for is diamond apple though. Oh, that's not a bad one. I for some reason like a diamond apple, but no. How do you make the four-sided shape to be correct? You need 4 points. They all need to be equal distance from every other point. Right. Hope you scale. Single vertice. Then what we do is we move it to be 1 up. Then damn it, this requires thinking, I don't like it. Then the second should also be arbitrary. No, it can't be arbitrary. Because from here, we basically have a circle on the other side, and every single other point has to lie on that circle. Christapple. Apples, this is rough. Doesn't need to be perfect. Achieve, the inside won't be visible, so we need to do it sideways. Here we do. Okay. We need to do it sideways. Because if we don't do it sideways, then so that means quick maths. 1 pop pop pop. Then this is x, this is y. Y has to be equal to x. Then this right here gives us a triangle. So x squared plus 1 is equal to y squared, which means y is equal to 2x, and x squared plus 1 root is equal to y, which means I don't think that's gonna make it any easier for me, but whatever, already started, because that means that x squared plus 1 is equal to 2x, which is why I didn't think it would make this any easier for me. That's because can I eyeball it? That feels like a bad idea, eyeballing it. X segment. So what kind of number when squared? Plus 1 and wait. Whatever. I didn't come here to think. I didn't come here to think. I came here to make wacky fruits, not do mathematics. X squared plus 1 is equal to 2x. That's the x. 1 divided by root 3. Okay, so x is equal to 1 divided by root 3. Perfect. Which means right here we have negative 1 divided by... Can I do root 3 in Blender? Can I do like 2 squared? I can, alright, that's cool. Minus 1 divided by 3 to the 1/2. Ah, how perfect. Alright, and then this 2 divided by 3 to the power of 1/2. Convenient. Quick maths. turn me and eyeball this. Okay. I'm putting a lot of effort into a really, really, really dumb bit, aren't I? Lots and lots of effort into something really, really dumb. Make it happen. D20 potato. Mandelbrot cauliflower. Won the 5D chess game. Good for you, X Gaming. Good for you. What's the easiest way to achieve Sierpinski from that? I don't want to overdo it. Cutting out the insides, I suppose. But we want the opposite. We don't want to be cutting out the insides. We don't want it to be growing. So we need to cut out the insides. Yeah, otherwise it'd be growing. Even though we're just trying to achieve the whole... Wait, no. There's some maths in it. Because what we're trying to make is we're trying to make the holes. Damn it, I am making something that should be funny, not funny anymore. Because what we're effectively trying to do here is... This would need to be upside down. We're trying to make on holes. So like this, which means the next one should be like this. Now what is that? Well, that's 1/4, which means the scale of the triangle itself divided by a 4, and then we need the tips of each one to touch. So divided by the 4, the height of one would be a 1/4. Right, so now if we just do transform and value. Ah, damn it, combine. Divide by 4. Splendid. Absolutely not. Divide 1 by 4. There we go. And then we need to move it down by... Oh, because we're dividing it that way. No, that makes sense. So not by 4, only by the original one. That would be 1/2, which means we divide it by half. Quick maths again. And then we move it down by... We need to find the perfect equation. If we want to do it right. Half each time, then we just move it down by the new height, which in this case would also be a half. Oh wait, so this as well. Yeah. And then we just repeat it on each triangle. Which means for each triangle we need the height of the triangle. This is our input. Then copy it and then just do it in each one. However, that won't allow us... Oh, there we go. Open, what's next? However, that will allow us to do it recursively in many directions, only one. My head hurts more than me. Simple math after complex math. I haven't really... thinking. I hate thinking. What's the point? I prefer punching. If a problem cannot be solved by punching, that means it shouldn't be solved. Diogenes or whatever, whoever said that. The important thing to mention, however, is that when you work files, you first need to open a file, then you can write, read, whatever. So that is fwrite, fread. And that will be two of them appearing in really quick succession, basically. We have the same x coordinates. And then we do fwrite. I think it was fwrite. Who cares? Well, I care. I'm gonna need to double check. Fwrite. Can I just look up f? Oh wow, I can. How festive. Fread. Perfect. Fwrite 0.5. It takes 5 years for you to read the chart. Are you certain you're just not watching really behind? That often always happens. Also happens. And then this, but -1, like so. No, that looks a bit wacky. We're just gonna eyeball it. In this case, we don't need perfection. F read. That's not how you spell read. There we go. You're an eyeballing thing. So I like eyeballing when I want to make something quick. No point in dealing with precise and exact perfections of mathematics. I took in a variety of words. Okay. It does look nice, doesn't it? The scene is very aesthetically pleasing. And I do like it. Read, write, whatever. And then you need to close it. And this part is actually important. So continue and see how everything manually. So important, it was quite boring. I'm gonna leave it now. Definitely will never going to come up again. Anyway, back to networking. And then we hit the del Q, which is the actual meat and potatoes of this chapter. Because whilst all the other ones were trivial and easy, del Q is the only one that's actually genuinely difficult. And it's gonna be proper difficult to explain. So I'm just going to I think when it comes to file, well, in C we actually do it quite often. File, close it. Allocate memory, need to free it, allocate the buffer, need to free it. It's freeing, it's almost always called freeing, not closing. Need to free it. Whilst the allocations have to happen in of output before we allocate, the freeing has to happen at the end. Which is a fair annoying because it means that every single time you create a variable that's more complex than the number 3, you need to remember to go to the very end and add a corresponding function. So here's my idea. For some reason, this makes me want to write a program to simulate quantum physics. Thanks for that. You're welcome. Delish. I'm 250% of these viewers. Yes, you are. My pocket Theo. I really need a pocket Theo. Hydration. No, that was actually caffeination reminder. Oh my goodness, a bunch of water evaporated from my sulfuric acid. Now it's... Let me see if it can eat through paper. It cannot. Garbage. I'll need to concentrate more. It sucks. Alright, in the video I do actually, my goal will be to make good acid. That's it. That's how much my previous acids sucked. They crystallized, for goodness sake. They crystallized. Sulfuric acid shouldn't crystallize. I know we made a video about this, so what is spin? Is it just charge? Okay, so spin in particles is a variable that what level of explanation do you want? Because if you just want the surface level, then I can just tell you that spin is just in particles the value that needs to be there in order for the physics to work out. Basically, you have certain things that you would expect only from spinning particles, so that's why you just get spin. Like, imagine if you have an object. I think that's a fairly good analogy. Imagine if you have a black object, right? Perfectly black object, like a black cube or something. But then, whenever you bring it into a room with plants, for example, they react as if they were getting light. In that case, this object would be dark, it would be perfectly dark, however, the physics surrounding it act as if it's emitting light. So in that case, you would just give it a value called L that would stand for light, and that would be like its light emission. And that's kind of how it works in quantum mechanics. You have a particle which we model as a point, which by its very nature cannot spin, because, well, it's a point. Points cannot spin. However, for example, you get magnetism, right? You get the magnetic moment, which and something can only have that. I think it was magnetic moment. I don't know which specific part of magnetism. I don't like magnetism. You can only have that when something is moving and has charge. Now, electrons, for example, obviously have charge. However, when they're stationary, then they need the spin in order for magnetism to work. Okay. Write an F read. 310 shucks, what I meant. That one, that's correct. Because we need to keyframe this, and then we need to keyframe this, and then we need to keyframe this. Splendid, perfect, fantastic, lovely. Just create like a list of functions. And then at the end of our program, we just remove everything. Point-like particles have no special direction, and rotation is another thing that applies to them technically. However, they have symmetry, like rotational symmetry, spin the measurement of that. Yes, that's it. How long did it take you to make that video about quantum stuff? You need to be a bit more specific, X Gaming, because I have quite a couple of videos about quantum stuff. I would like you to specify which video are you referring to when you say that video. Should I write it in C or C++? You're really making a quantum mechanics simulator. Do you understand how quantum physics works? Because I feel like if you want to make a quantum physics simulator and you don't know what spin is, then you might find it difficult. once, and then at the end, simple as it could be. Again, and here's where the bit begins. Also, didn't hear answer to C or C++. Well, I don't know what to recommend you, to be honest, because I personally really love programming in C. It's my favorite language. However, I feel like I don't know what to recommend you in that case, because it's gonna be difficult. It's gonna be difficult regardless. The mathematics is the most difficult part in that case, so the language doesn't really matter. Hi the Munch, hi the Santosh, hi, welcome. Then we're gonna have like a wacky tune right here, and then... Okay. First, in C you can have arrays. If you have a single number that's 4 bytes long, then you can make an array of those numbers to be however long you want. This is how it functions for numbers, but how does it number for functions? Well, this is gonna be such a difficult thing to explain. I just blacked out for a second. We need... Let me plan this a bit. What we need to end up with is the del Q. What we start with is just explaining arrays. We need to explain every single confusing thing that happens on the way there. So first of all, how functions are pointers, effectively. Then about how everything is a pointer. Oh, that could be actually a good one. Kind of now understand why you hit your keyboard naked, right? When you are typing extremely fast, it's kind of bad, but then that, or you have a mic close to your keyboard. My mic is actually quite a fair bit away. It's just really, really loud. OpenGL or Vulkan? Well, I always preferred Vulkan, but that's because I'm insane. OpenGL is also way... X-Gaming, what is your experience with coding so far? Pointer, yeah, pointer. Everything... Well, think about it. Oh, if you watch my computer sounds... I don't know how to like hide this though. Kind of rough. Logging, right. You need to close it, and this part at the end is actually really important. It is F-close, correct? F-close. I did write my own assembly language because I had too much... What do you mean you wrote your own assembly language? What does coding in sulfuric acid has to do make it? They're both things I do. That's why I'm putting them in the video. Simple as it could be. Don't question me, mortal. Oh, shucks, this is not gonna work, yeah. What's the size? 0.47, okay. They mean us input. Shouldn't laugh at that, it's dumb. 340 affection. You telling me that the shin is perfect? This way, perfection, and 100, actually 0, and then 100. I made the instruction, then made a simulated computer for it. Do you have a GitHub repo of it? Because I would be really curious to see that. I've never done any emulated machine stuff. I really missed out on this whole thing. So I've never seen how they function. Like the whole sandboxing concept. It messes with me a bit. Okay. This. Number 2 key things. First of all, it's not really something you can put on GitHub. What do you mean by that? What do you mean it's not really something you can put on GitHub? You can... You can put anything on GitHub. You can just use the plus. Still, I thought. Still has a cookie in my browser and I don't see any part of the place. It's an online tool. I am questioning your development choices so much. I don't know what kind of choices led you into that situation, but they should be questioned. To make your own simulated virtual machine with your own assembly language and then storing it as a cookie. I'm not gonna. I will not engage. Also, I'm pretty certain you could also store it on GitHub still. I don't know if you realize that. but man, I screwed my Java no, but tonight. But as soon as I sharpen my C, society loses their mind. So dumb. It will also make the same amount of sense to use Vim. No, because Vim is a text editor. Vim is normal. It's just a text editor, like VS Code or Notepad. There is a difference between what you use to just edit text and storing something as a cookie in your browser. One of them is just discussing what size of hammer you should use, and the other one is just you code in Notepad. You can, it makes no difference between coding in the Notepad or VS Code or Vim. From a technical point of view, there's no difference between them. But storing your entire code as a cookie in your browser, that is different. Just straight up different. So it doesn't make the same sense as using Vim. X-Gaming, with all due respect, are you certain you have the technical abilities to code? No, that's weird. Mentioning it because it means that these are functions, and instead of referring to them by this, refer to them by this, which is the address in memory where the functions store, which means technically, there is no difference between a bunch of long numbers and anything else. Everything is just a bunch of long numbers. Which means that if I make an array numbers and then treat it as functions, background. Why would I do that, X-Gaming? That's a lot of effort. I want to see if you would. It's such a pain because I would need to like get the image, put it in. A chore. What? Okay. Networking. Okay, how did we do outro in the last animation? Do an outro? No, we didn't. Okay, so we're also not gonna do it here. Perfect. Means now all there is program del here, which is the big one. The big reveal. I should have just there we go. Bye, Sanders. Bye. See ya. Everything is pointless. The point is still present. No, I'm so sorry. In this case, let's delete this, that. Keep one. Delete this. No, wait, no, don't keep that one though. This. I'm gonna keep for now. I don't even know what that plane is. Gonna read that, not necessary. This one's gonna be really good. Perfect. And then what? Well, then Delq, so if we need to close the file, what's it actually do? Quite often. Open the file, we need to close it. Allocate memory, need to free it. Allocate the buffer, we need to free it. Okay. So we're gonna have the gears disappear for now. Not really necessary. And instead we're going to have this a bit bigger. There's gonna be F open on one side and there's gonna be F close on the other. Right, so let's do 1.3. -2. And I would like them to have slightly different colors. This beef with Parmesan goes, that so sounds rich. Oh, it sounds posh, not even rich. That's not even rich, that's just royal. Okay, we do need it to be ever so slightly higher because it's overlapping. And then open. And then we're gonna have F close on the other side. Simple as it could be. So del Q. Ah, not bad. Made by me. That sounds delicious, David. Hey Megan, wondering, do you have a stream schedule of sorts? Not really, I just stream whenever, whatever, however. So. Treat it as functions. And yeah. Compile it. I like it. Warnings. And yeah. Fix that problem. Just turn off the warnings. Sweet. I am gonna speedrun a bit through it. Because once again, this is quite advanced computer science and I will not be able to explain it. So instead I'm just gonna speed through it and just make it fun. As fun as I can. Trying to... I mean, it's also a fair bit educational, the whole everything is number bit. confident to say. I don't know. I'm like 30% sure it won't break long term. Which is okay with me. Splendid. So yeah, I need to leave it there because I can't really go much in depth. But that should be the end of the computer science segment of the video, which means the next one will be just the box and the mask. That will be the next one. And those two should be simple-ish because I could actually be done with them today if I try hard enough. Well, not the video segment, only the project. Then the acid will be the last one, and then the video will be finished! Yay! New Make It video. And if I spend the entire day today working, I think I can... Friday. I think Friday it could be up. If I spend the entire day today and tomorrow working. That's exciting. Anyway, I think I'm gonna go for now. Because I have some acid to make. Haha. Isn't that a fun thing? And for now, I suppose that'll be it. Thank you everyone so much for watching and have a great day. Bye.